What's up guys, I'm going to do another Call of Duty Black Ops 4 video. In today's video we're going to be talking about the Blackout private beta for Black Ops 4. So I'm going to be giving my kind of honest thoughts and kind of a review of the beta thus far, and maybe some things I would like to see Treyarch do in the future for when, Blackout actually comes out with Black Ops 4 on October 12th, or even maybe this weekend for the beta when it finally comes to Xbox and PC. So first off, I just want to say that I really enjoy the beta, and I really enjoy Blackout in general. The beta itself is really solid, and the frame rate on it is honestly really good. That was something I was a little bit concerned about before now, was that we didn't exactly know what, the frame rate was going to be. They said they were targeting 60 FPS, but it was never going to be like, a locked 60 FPS, like kind of guarantee. That wasn't going to be like the baseline. So we just kind of knew that they're going to be hopefully trying to get 60 FPS, and if they didn't, then it's kind of whatever. But so there has been frame rate analyses that have come out about Black Ops 4, and the frame rate on the regular PS4, honestly, it's really excellent, and it stays between the low to mid 50s basically at all times. So it's, really close to 60 FPS, and honestly, it is very smooth, and it's basically there. And so, just maybe a little bit more optimization before launch would just barely put it there and would just work flawlessly. I mean, it does have screen tearing, but honestly, just the way the game runs and everything, it's kind of a miracle that it runs it all with, this many players and such. And honestly, I had a thought a little while ago about, kind of comparing Blackout a little bit to GTA 5, because I was just driving a vehicle around and I was like, this is kind of like GTA 5, it feels a little bit like an open world game. That's the same with most Battle Royale games, but at the same time, I'm like, GTA 5 runs at a locked, 1080p 30 FPS on all consoles right now, except for, of course, last gen, but PS4, PS4 Pro, Xbox One, and Xbox One X, they all run at 1080 30. And here we are, playing it at 1080p, almost 60 FPS, playing Blackout. And I know, it's not as dense or whatever as GTA is, and a little bit not as complex, but still, I feel like it's, quite the accomplishment to get it to that level of performance. And personally, I've been playing it, for the most part, on a PlayStation 4 Pro, and for a lot of the, section of the map and game, it stays to a locked 60 FPS, which I find absolutely fantastic. The resolution, I feel like, could be increased a little bit. There is some objects in the distance that are a little bit, too blurry, and I find myself constantly going, well, is that a guy, or is that a tree, or what is that? And so I have to zoom in with a sniper or something in order to see and kind of make out things. But for me, I'm going to be playing this game on an Xbox One X, so the resolution will be higher on there, so it won't be necessarily that big of a problem to me. But at the same time, some of the draw distances and stuff load in a little bit too late, in my opinion. You can see a lot of pop in with this mode, and I mean, these are some things that are kind of inevitable with this large of a world and this large of a map. But I feel like there are still some optimizations and things Treyarch can do to make the the actual map and make the game perform better and also look way better and just play better for everybody in general. But honestly, my thoughts about the Blackout itself, I really enjoy it. I really like the map. The map is really incredible, just seeing how they have blended in tons of old Black Ops maps. You got firing range in there, you got Fringe, you got Nuketown, even Diner and Array, things like that. And then you got zombies maps in there too. You got Asylum, which is literally Verrucht. And then you got Lighthouse, which is Call the Dead, which is just incredible. It's just seeing all these mix. The vehicles is really amazing, in my opinion. I posted a video of me just screwing around, driving around in a truck trying to kill people in that, and it's really fun to do that. And there's just so much fun you can have in this mode. The weapons are really awesome, although I feel like if they had some more throwback weapons to previous Call of Duty games, it'd be a little bit better and a little bit more fun, because right now, as it stands, it's basically only Black Ops 4 weapons with a ray gun and a Galil, and that's basically the only weapons from previous games. So if they included other things in there, maybe a DSR 50 or something like that, that'd be really fun and really cool. But the beta itself is really amazing and really fun. I feel like Treyarch has done a really good job with it, and also updating the beta throughout. They've been doing things every single day, really communicating with the community, and I find it fantastic. And I'm just having a great time with the beta. It's really fun, And I wish it would be longer. I wish it would be like a 2-week beta, 1 week for PlayStation and another week for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. That'd be really great in my opinion, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. There are some things I would really love to see in the future for Blackout. I would like to see some more map locations, because as it stands now, there are a lot of places on the map where you can deploy and you can go to, and it's really fun. But at the same time, there's still quite a bit of open area, like down by Turbine and that like bottom right corner of the map. There's hardly anything out there, and I feel like in the future, hopefully Treyarch could introduce more areas of the map and put more playable places on the map in places like that. And I feel like, you know, maybe a map like Buried would work very well out there. I feel like that would be, you know, really incredible, because it is desert out there and kind of rocky. And, you know, having Buried, like, you know, just like a saloon or whatever from Buried, or like the Witch's Mansion and that stuff, would work incredibly well out there. And there's lots of cool things they could definitely do with this map to add things in the future. Like, I've heard a lot of people on Reddit saying, what if they put in Hijacked clear out in the water? Because honestly, that like left, you know, whole side of the map, all there is Nuketown Island, and then it's just a whole bunch of water with nothing over there. And so if they added in maybe like Cove or Hijacked, I mean Hijacked and Cove, you know, like both of those maps you can actually see each other in Black Ops 2, so that'd be, you know, a kind of like a fun little throwback Easter egg to have both of those maps placed into Blackout and, you know, near each other. People are also saying, what about Carrier from Black Ops 2? That'd be fun to have in the water as well. You know, just these other places you can deploy, and, you know, all these other maps that you could come together and just have, you know, all in one. And honestly, I feel like, you know, this would be really incredible, but honestly, there may be some like design choices behind it. Maybe the game can't support that many, you know, like assets or areas or whatever on the map. One thing I really do love about the beta is how fast it loads. That is absolutely incredible to me, is how fast it just boom. And like, honestly, I feel like it loads faster than some of the normal Black Ops 4 multiplayer maps that we had in the beta. Like, some of those, it would just take you like almost like 30 seconds to load up the map, and then Blackout takes like 15 seconds. And I'm like, this doesn't really make sense, but okay, whatever. I mean, it loads up really quickly. And, you know, for the most part, all the textures have been there. I have had some issues where textures just won't load and take a while to pop in. So hopefully Treyarch can see some of those and hopefully improve that at least a little bit. But, you know, at the same time, there's not a whole lot you can do with these consoles, you know. I would like to see them optimize the Xbox One X a little bit more, so that way maybe, you know, we have higher resolution textures because of the extra VRAM and the extra RAM that that system has available. But honestly, it's not, you know, like a make or break deal. It would be really interesting to see more maps come to Blackout in the future, like if they added in another full map, kind of like how PUBG does this. You know, they introduce like a new map every once in a while. And I feel like that's honestly how they could, you know, include more areas, is if they just created more maps like that. But at the same time, you know, apparently Blackout and everything has been in development for about, you know, 2 years or so at this point. And, you know, for them to, you know, take this long, and it's not just Treyarch working on it, you know, they have Beanox working on it as well with them, and these other companies working with them, you know, to create this huge map. It's honestly probably wouldn't come until maybe, you know, next summer or something, the next time we would be able to see a map like this. So I don't know, I feel like it would be really fun to see more maps and see more playable areas and just more spaces in the map and just more iconic, you know, like Black Ops things in it. Like, you know, they barely unlocked the characters, so you can now change your character besides, you know, like the default ones and the specialists, you know, but being able to actually, you know, use lots of different Black Ops characters. I would love to see different Black Ops weapons, instead of just, you know, like the Black Ops 4 ones. If they had, you know, like tons and tons and tons of, you know, weapons from all the Black Ops games. You know, if they had a bunch of them from Black Ops 1, you know, different ones from Black Ops 2, even Black Ops 3, some DLC ones in there too, you know. That'd be really fun and just a really good time in my opinion. Another suggestion I've heard people make about Blackout is that the gold guns that you can find around the map that are like fully decked out with a bunch of attachments and stuff, they should literally have a gold camo on them. They should have like the gold camo from Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2 or something, and just kind of like a really cool little, you know, like way to designate which weapons are which. And I feel like it would just make, you know, those weapons so much cooler to get. And now let's talk about kind of the future of Blackout and Blackout Battle Royale overall. So the big question, like everybody's wondering right now, is Will Blackout kill Fortnite? That is what everybody's wondering. Everybody's wondering if, Blackout is going to be the new Fortnite, if, this is just going to wreck Fortnite and Fortnite's just going to, pack it in and be done, if this is going to be PUBG and what. So basically, what's going to happen here is that there is no possible way that Blackout is going to kill Fortnite. It's impossible, and it's not going to happen. Fortnite already has a huge, audience and a huge player base already that would be really hard to take away from unless you had something just like so amazing. But even still, they have one thing that Blackout does not, and that is the platforms and like the player base on all the platforms. So Fortnite is on Xbox, it's on PS4, it's on PC, it's on Nintendo Switch, and it's on iOS, and it's on Android. So all these different platforms you can play Fortnite on, and you can play, cross-platform between them, except for PlayStation 4, because of that whole thing with Sony. But with Blackout, it's literally only on Xbox, PS4, and PC. And so far, we do not know anything about any like cross-platform play or anything like that. So it's only 3 platforms, and if you really want to like take over the market like that, you're gonna have to kind of capitalize on that. There's people who might not have an Xbox, and so they can play Fortnite on their phone. So obviously Blackout's not going to appeal to them because they don't have an Xbox. They can't play it. And another thing about Fortnite that just makes it such, like a king and like the top dog in, the video game market right now is the fact that it's free. You don't have to pay anything to play Fortnite. You literally just download it and bam, you can play with all your friends. And that's one reason why it attracts such a large audience. It's open for everybody. It doesn't matter if you who you are, if you're like a YouTuber that, is like a whale and drops thousands of dollars on the game, or you're just some random person who is only playing it because it's free. It is the same for every person. And, that's the difference between Fortnite and Blackout, is Blackout is included in a $60 game, and there's no other way to get it. It's not free. You can't buy it separately for like $15 or $20 or something like that. You gotta pay $60 in order to get this. And ultimately, I feel like that's probably going to be Blackout's demise, in my opinion, if you can even say that. I mean, I'm sure Blackout's going to, be really successful and awesome, but I think that if Treyarch and Activision wants Blackout to be a serious competitor and to be, a huge part of the industry and market, then they need to either make it free to play or have it be its own separate purchase for like $15, something like that. So there's definitely, a lot of different things they can do with it, but it's just pretty much all down to the fact that Fortnite is free to play and it's on more platforms. And so unless Call of Duty can do something about that and kind of compete against that, there's no way that they're, even going to stand a chance. There's no way that Fortnite's even going to budge, like the #1 spot. Now, PUBG, that's a different story. So, with PUBG, that game is not free to play. You have to pay for it. And, it is a little bit different than Blackout because it's way less than Blackout. I think it's only like $20, something like that. So, you're not paying $60 to play a Battle Royale mode. You're only paying, $15, $20 or whatever, and then you get it. You're not having to fork over a whole like $60 for it. And I have seen a lot of people online talking about how Blackout is going to absolutely destroy PUBG, and that is something I could totally see happening because they're both like really similar in terms of like all the aspects of the mode. I mean, basically all the Battle Royale modes are, almost exactly the same in concept, but Blackout is more similar to PUBG than it is to Fortnite. Fortnite has, like shopping carts and all these different things and emotes and, this and that. Whereas, it's more similar to PUBG because it is a military themed. It's not this, cartoony thing like Fortnite is. It's this like actual military themed, like Warzone thing. And it has vehicles as well. It has weapons, like actual guns, and not these weird like laser things like in Fortnite. And I feel like Blackout is going to steal a huge market share away from PUBG just because of how optimized the game is, because it runs close to 60 frames per second and it looks really good compared to PUBG. And I mean, the performance is way better. Plus, PUBG is only on Xbox and PC, and it's not on PlayStation 4, whereas Blackout is on PlayStation 4. And I think a lot of people are going to kind of abandon PUBG for Blackout. And Blackout is going to take the spot of like the #2 Battle Royale game away from PUBG and just gonna sit there right underneath Fortnite, which personally I feel like is a good place to be in, and will definitely really help out, you know, Call of Duty and the franchise and everything long term. But I don't think it'll really ever dethrone Fortnite. But I feel like it is a huge competitor to PUBG, and is, you know, basically battling PUBG right now. And that's what, you know, Treyarch is going for, which I feel like is a very smart move, because in order to combat Fortnite, you'd have to do some really drastic changes and do a lot of crazy things with that, and you know, you wouldn't know if it would pay off. But it's a lot safer and a lot, you know, kind of a better bet to go against PUBG instead of Fortnite and just take the #2 spot in the Battle Royale game. So yeah, there you guys go. That is my thoughts and opinions and everything on Blackout Battle Royale for the private beta here in Black Ops 4. The full game is going to be coming out in less than a month. I'm really excited for that. We're going to have to see what changes and what things are going to be made between now and then. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Tell me what you guys' thoughts are about Blackout in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.